Hey everybody, this is Buddy. I'm on the back deck of the OC. Today is Wednesday, February the 28th. The year is 2024. What do you think about that? It feels like when the wind's hitting you, it feels like it's 40 degrees, but with the sun shining, it's beautiful. Look how pretty it is out there. You see all the trees, sky, everything. You can hear them busting rock up on the big hill. Man, that must be a lot of expense on them people that bought that land. Gonna build a subdivision up there. What got me is they keep asking for smaller and smaller lots. Yeah, that's because the rocks is pretty damn hard to get out of the ground. They should have never sold it to them. I got a funny feeling that was an Indian burial ground. I was gonna come back to haunt some people one day.
Columbia, starting a new neighborhood can be a hassle. Developers must navigate a web of city ordinances and zoning rules and work with existing neighborhood associations to win them over. Not to mention dealing with the occasional 1,500-year-old burial site. It sounds like a scene from Poltergeist, but it's exactly the situation Mike Tompkins recently found himself in. When Tompkins bought property at the end of Smith Drive west of Columbia, he discovered it was home to a Native American burial site, a mound 80 feet long and several feet high on the northeastern side of the property. Tompkins said the mound came to light after city officials started questioning what it was as he planned a 91-acre subdivision that will have 198 houses. There was a hump there, and of course I've always known some of the lore that those could be Indian mounds, he said. Tompkins said that when he discovered the area was a burial site, he checked whether the city had any rules regarding Native American remains. Finding none, he followed state regulations for human remains, which call for notifying the state and any tribes affiliated with the site. Tompkins wanted to preserve the site, so he contacted the Osage Nation, a tribe with roots in mid-Missouri. Representatives of the tribe in Oklahoma said they would send members to visit the site, but they eventually stopped responding. So he called Michael O'Brien, a professor of anthropology who, at the time, was the dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and asked him to survey the site. It's forgivable to miss the mound. Covered in brown weeds and situated in the hilly landscape, it blends in well. Dig down, though, and you'd find human remains over a millennium old. Well, maybe. The bones themselves are generally gone, depending on how much water reached them, said O'Brien, who now is provost at Texas A&M San Antonio. He noted, though, that the structure of this particular mound might have protected the remains. He said bodies in such mounds would be placed in a sort of crypt made of limestone slabs, and that, over time, these slabs would have fallen on top of one another, possibly sealing the remains inside and away from water. Stephanie Golda, an adjunct professor of forensic science at Columbia College, said that while she agrees it is unlikely there are any remains still at the site, she couldn't rule it out entirely.
Yeah, this whole damn place was Indian land. Kind of reminds me of what's going on over there in Palestine. Yeah. You gotta go, people. We ain't got time. Y'all gotta go. That's what they did here and all over the whole United States. They reset the whole population and had immigrants come in. Oh, what they got coming in now? Immigrants? Yeah, who's the Indians now, huh? We are. American people with birth certificates are the Indians. And these ones that's coming in and getting thousands of dollars a month. I heard a couple thousand a month. I don't know. It just don't make no damn sense to let people like that, military age, can run a marathon. You can look at them and tell they got military training. Hell, it ain't hard. You can see it in their eyes. Ain't no telling how many of them are just cold-blooded. I heard something behind me. Ain't no telling how many of them cold-blooded mercenaries that don't just like to kill, they kill for money. Can you imagine? Millions of them. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I think his name was Len Morris, county commissioner, and I brought it up about these immigrants being military age trained people. He couldn't deny it. And I told him, I said, look, you got to talk to the sheriff and you got to talk to the chief of police. And when the things go really bad in the outer world, we got to come up with a way to get information to the public here in Springfield and Ozark and Branson. We got to make sure all the sheriffs are on the same page. I've been told they were. I actually was shown that they were. And I know that we're here in this area for a very good reason. I'm speaking about myself, but I'm here because this is one of the safest places in the world to be. And it was prophesied from the turn of the century. Emily Limley is the one that turned me on to it. She said that it was brought back up in the 30s, 1930. And then in the 1950s, there was a huge revival here in Springfield. I don't know the year. Maybe a historian can help me figure that out. But she seemed to think that it was between 54 and 56. And A.A. Allen came, Shambach came.
We are a believer. We believe God's word from Genesis to Revelation, and the Bible said these signs shall follow them that believe. How many of you believe that I believe? Do you believe that I believe everything in this old book? And hear me, however, we don't claim to heal the sick. We merely lay our hands on the sick, the suffering, the dying. It is Christ who heals them. You'll notice this verse said that they should go forth and these signs should follow them to believe. The next verse in your Bible said, and they went everywhere, preaching the word, the Lord working with them. Doing what? Confirming his word with signs following. And the same Lord that worked with these in the 16th chapter of Mark is working with us today. This is why we see the sick healed. This is why unclean spirits come out. This is why multitudes are healed of every sickness, disease, and infirmity. Not because I'm a healer, but because I'm a believer.
Oh, it was some of the older preachers that were, tent people, that tent revivals back in them days. And it was supposed to last for a short time, and it turned into she said one of them lasted for 3 weeks, and one of them lasted for damn near 3 months. And they was all prophesying about right now the end times that we're going through with what we see happening in Palestine, in Israel, and all over the whole world with misinformation. One story is his story. Until he changes history, we don't know the truth about nothing. They rewrite history on a daily basis. They take and twist and manipulate everything. But Lynn Morris is a great guy. He seems to understand what's really happening in the world and why it's wise to come up with a plan like onevoicenow.org to get a message out to the population and have them have a way, a mechanism for picking up a phone and hearing the main topic that's going to be voted on and when it's going to be voted on, and have the ability to enter their name, code number, and a PIN number, and be able to push 1 for yes, I agree with it, or 2 for no, I don't want it to pass. That's simple. 1 for yes and 2 for no, and it locks you out. You can't vote again, and time moves on with disclosure and actually full information to the population. We can't have 6 or 7 voting in the county and thinking they're going to solve our problem. In the city, we got 6 or 7 or 8 counting, how they do it. And then Springfield, same situation. Branson, same situation. All that could be modernized and could be on public broadcast system. Your PBS channel right here in Springfield, Missouri, on the campus of Missouri State. Yeah, y'all need to answer my phone calls when I talk to y'all about onevoicenow.org at PBS here in Missouri. You got a charter that's coming up for review. And if we can get some good people like Josh Hawley behind us, we need to see and have way more information they're given to us at these meetings. That battery storage place, for one. Everybody that lives out there in that part of the world hadn't even had chance to even make their voice heard. And it could be voted on, and they don't take the people's interest at heart. That ain't right, people. That's got to change.
Christian County say they are concerned about a massive new facility that could be built near them. A Texas-based company wants to build a battery storage facility near Ozark. In an intense meeting this week, residents heard more details from the company. Color 10's Parker Paget reports.
Black Mountain Energy Storage tells me that they've identified Christian County as an area through studies that could have grid issues.
Typically, we get questions, but not normally so much backlash. Really appreciate everyone coming out today.
Carolyn O'Brien with Black Mountain Energy Storage was surprised by the pushback she received from people in Ozark.
We're proposing to build a battery storage facility off Old Prospect Road, south of the city of Ozark. The intention is that it smooths the peaks and valleys, essentially, of energy transmission throughout the grid.
The facility would bring more than 50 structures, roughly the size of shipping containers, to a plot of land in Christian County. The privately funded $100 million project would allow the company to retain excess electricity from the grid and then dish it out when needed. A room full of neighbors spoke out against the proposed project.
Nobody mentioned that South Korea has banned these things because they had so many fires. Did you know that? Yeah, do some research. I'm not trying to be crass to you, but, you know, you're not a neighbor. I'm nice to my neighbors.
And my big worry is what happens if my well gets contaminated.
While some neighbors saw potential benefits when it comes to energy supplies,
the fact is, you know, federal government is shutting down those coal plants. They're making it harder to build gas plants.
Others want more information, which O'Brien says they're happy to provide as the proposal moves forward.
We like the communities to feel comfortable with what we're putting in to make sure that there are not any concerns, which of course there was today. So this is not something unusual for us. So this is not something unusual for us.
Now, this project still needs approval from the Christian County Commission before they can break ground, and if approved, wouldn't be completed for at least a couple of years. The next meeting about this project is in March. Reporting in Ozark, Parker Paget, Color 10 News.
So that's what I want people to realize, is that we don't need no stinking ass battery storage place. Look, they catching on fire all over the whole country. I did a really quick search on it, and I'm going to do a deep dive on it here tonight. I may even go live with it and do my deep dive where y'all can see the actual factual information about these battery facilities catching on fire. And what I found out in a short search, they can't even explain why in a battery farm like that, you got these containers holding these lithium batteries. You got multiple storages in units, and they're separated by a small amount of space, but they can't even tell us why it catches on fire. How in the hell can you allow something like that in this community? It makes absolutely no sense. And I could go way off into more about it, but I want to educate myself on it, so I'm giving you factual information, and I can use AI Copilot to do that for me. And I can make the computer read the volumes of information at a super fast speed. That's one of the gifts my Father, Mother, God gave me, is the ability to be able to do that and listen to things at a high speed. And somebody said, well, are you retaining it? You better believe I am. The Christ conscious that is I, which is the I am, understands everything. Now, there's this chemical brain, you know, does it hold all of it? No. It's down into my very being of everything that I hear. And I do have recall when it's very important, which is important. All right, that's all I want to say about that. It's a beautiful day. I'm out here resting my body, laying out in the sun. I swam a record pace yesterday, and my watch said that I needed to take the whole day off, and today is Wednesday, the 28th. I'm saying that now at the end of the damn video like I did before, but that's okay. I can fix that. Watch this. I fixed it. See, I went back in time and I fixed it. Now I'm going to cut that in at the beginning of the video. There's always ways to fix a problem. There's always ways to see who's not fixing problems. We want people that are technicians. We don't want politicians. We don't need no politicians. We need technicians. Y'all have a good day. Bye. See, there's more than one way to put a shirt on.